Good evening, Sukihoto. Welcome to this special session today, live streaming on YouTube. Today is the 27th of July, and it marks the third anniversary of the passing of our beloved teacher, Venerable Dr. Punaji Mahathera. So, of course, many of us miss him very much. And today, as a special feature, we are going to have a very special sharing to share about his Dhammaduta service. We have invited uh, Venerable Pusili Vinita Tero. So let us put our palms together to welcome Bante Vinita. Okay, welcome Bante Vinita. Okay, so
Sadhu
before
to
we,
you.
and Bante has very kindly chosen the topic, the role of monastic teacher, the Dhamma Dutta service of Venerable Dr. Marawela Punaji Mahathera. So before we begin the Dhamma sharing, let me just read to you an introduction of Bante Vinita. Okay, so Venerable Bante Vinita Tero is a Sri Lankan Buddhist monk since the age of 12 and received his higher ordination in 2007. After graduating from the Buddhist and Pali University, Bapu, in Sri Lanka in 2013 with a Bachelor of Arts degree with first class honors, Bante Vinita went on to pursue his Master of Education at the Help University in Kuala Lumpur. During his scholastic years, Bante Vinita received several prizes and awards for academic excellence and had published several research papers on monastic education and social injustice. Under the mentorship of the Chief Reverend, Most Venerable Dato K. Sri Dhammaratana Nayaka Mahathero, Bante Vinita became the incumbent resident monk of T. Ratana Lumbini Garden in Puchong in Malaysia. And currently, Bante continues to serve the mission and his followers in Malaysia remotely with the help of modern technology. And since the start of the coronavirus pandemic, Bante Vinita has returned to Sri Lanka and currently resides at the Sri Sudharma Viharaya in Colombo. Bante Vinita has conducted several Dhamma talks and meditation classes throughout Malaysia, Philippines, and Sri Lanka, most notably at several universities, including teaching the Dhamma and meditation at the women's prison in Manila. So Bante Vinita has been very instrumental in helping us delivering humanitarian aid to the poor and the needy communities in Malaysia, Sri Lanka, and the Philippines. So without further ado, let us put our palms together and welcome Bante Vinita to offer the sharing. Okay, Bante Vinita, the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much, Brother Bilitan and our noble friends. I would like to wish you, first of all, to have a blissful and blessed day. And big sadhu to you for inviting me to conduct a memorial Dhamma talk, especially on the Dhammaduta service of late Venerable Dr. Madawala Punnaji Mahathero. Let's put our palms together and recite Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa in order to pay our homage to the Blessed One. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma sambuddhassa namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Dear brothers and sisters in Dhamma, it's a great pleasure to meet you in this sense in order to share our Dhamma knowledge with you all with the pure purpose of supporting you to enlighten, to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Today, we are talking about a great missionary service done by a great Buddhist teacher, Buddhist leader. Because of that, Brother Bilitan invited me to choose the topic. As he told, I have chosen the topic as the role of a monastic teacher, memorial Dhamma talk on the Dhammadutta service of late Venerable Dr. Madavala Punnaji Mahathera. As a gratitude by heart for him, I am so glad to deliver this Dhamma talk, having highlighted the teachings of the Buddha and compare them with the life of late Venerable Dr. Madavala Punnaji Mahathero. As I have the live experiences of associating with him, for me also he has given very important instructions to build my career as a missionary monk, as a Dhammadutta monk, as a monastic teacher. Therefore, I also consider him as one of my teachers in my life who made me to show the direct and correct path as a Buddhist monk. Venerable Dr. Madavala Punnaji Mahathero already passed away in 2018. In memory of that late Venerable Dr. Madavala Punnaji Mahathera, role of a monastic teacher or monk is discussed, explained in relation to his life and roles that he has played in the international scenario. First of all, because of that, I wish whatever we do as the meritorious activities, whatever positive energies we collect, by the power of those positive energies or the meritorious powers, may Bhante Dr. Madavala Punnaji Mahathera be able to attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. In that sense, I would like to extend my gratitude and wishes towards him and continue this Dhamma talk as you all celebrate the third death anniversary of this very important Buddhist monk. Brothers and sisters in Dhamma, everyone should have a vision and mission in a life. Maybe it depends on the roles of people that play. Vision and mission are very important keywords in our life that we put together into practice. Maybe as a doctor should have a vision and mission. As a leader of a country, the person should have a vision and mission to build up the country. As a father, the person should have a vision and mission to create a sustainable and peaceful future for their children. As a mother also, the same thing we have to consider. In the same sense, brothers and sisters in Dhamma, in case of a monastic teacher or a monk, we can say mendicant, or in your words, simply we can say a Bhante. He should have a vision and mission. That vision and mission in the life of a monk clearly had been indicated by the Buddha in his doctrine. As we all the followers of the Blessed One, the Incomparable One, who enlightened the humans and stated clearly that the world is full of suffering, so we have to practice certain things to be free from the suffering. What the Buddha discovered in this world is reality in this world. The reality in this world, brothers and sisters in Dhamma, is suffering. Whoever follows his teachings, the Buddha has mentioned a clear vision and mission. Monastic teacher or monk or bhikkhu, they are the main disciples of the Buddha who are ordained according to his regulations or in accordance with the Dhamma. They should have the vision and mission. Everyone should have the vision and mission. One Buddhist monk's mission or vision cannot be different from other Buddhist monks. All the Buddhist monks have to accept the vision and mission of the Buddha. Therefore, a vision and mission of a monastic teacher or monk should be the vision and mission of the Buddha. So the Buddha says, Charata bhikkhave charikam bahujana hitaya bahujana sukaya lokanukampaya attaya hitaya sukaya deva manussana. Charata bhikkhave charikam. Brothers and sisters in Dhamma, the Buddha advises his disciples to go on their ways, travel here and there. O monks, go your ways. What for did the Buddha instruct his disciples to travel here and there? That was the purpose or the vision for the benefit and happiness of the many. Bahujana hitaya. Bahujana means the many people, many humans, many mankind in the world, for their benefits. for their happiness, please you may travel here and there. That was the vision. Out of compassion for the world, you should have to cultivate the compassion towards the mankind because they need the good health, they need the benefits, they need the happiness, not only of the humans. We have to think of the happiness of the even deities in the heavens. Therefore, having considered their happiness, their goodness, their benefits, I advise you to travel here and there. Go on your ways to village, from city to city, from province to province, from country to country, from continent to continent. You may go and you may travel. Your traveling purpose should be the happiness of the humans, mankind in this world. So, you should have a compassion mind. With that compassion mind, your vision is to see the people enjoy happiness. It's clear the vision of the Buddha. The vision of the Buddha is to see the humans enjoy the happiness, the deities enjoy the happiness in this world. So, to support this vision, we should have a mission as well. We should have a mission as well. What is the vision, brothers and sisters, in Dhamma? Vision is what we expect to see in the future as the success of certain plan. So everyone have to conjure up a vision. In case of educational life, in case of professional life, in case of married life, or whatever roles we have, we should have a final success. We should have an imagination of final destinations of the happiness or success. That is called the vision. So, people are suffering in this world a lot. Because of that, brothers and sisters in Dhamma, the Buddha advises us to, as monks, to travel here and there, not to stay in one place. Then, having gone here and there, from village to village, from city to city, from country to country, from continent to continent, what we have to do is teach them how to earn happiness, how to give the benefits to people, how to be successful. This is the mission of the Buddhism. So every Buddhist monk has to play their roles to provide this thing, to support this vision to be successful. Therefore, what the mission was? The Buddha says, Ma ekena dve agamitta, ma ekena dve agamitta. The Buddha says, brothers and sisters, do not go two monks on the same directions, on the same road. Two monks together don't travel. Let no two monks go in the same direction. Why Buddha says like this? If the two monks are traveling on the same road, many people cannot achieve the benefits. So one monk should go on the same direction or on one direction. So what we have to do? Teach. Deseta bhikkave. Please monks, you must teach. What is we have to teach? Dhamma, the doctrine of the Buddha, what he has founded, what he has discovered, that is the mission. Then he says, his Dhamma is Adi Kalyanam, pure at the beginning, clear at the beginning. The message of the Dhamma is very clear and pure at the beginning, beneficial for the people. Majje Kalyanam, it's beneficial for the people in the middle as well. Paryosana Kalyanam, it is very clear and pure at the end as well. Then Satam Sabhyanjanam, the spirits of the Dhamma is very clear, and each letter of the Dhamma brings the happiness. So Kevala Paripunnam Parisuddham Brahmacharyam Pakaseta. Make the people aware of the noble life. It supports people to be aware of the noble life. It is supporting you to be aware of the noble life which is fully complete. You no need to fill another teaching to complete his teaching. We don't have to edit. We don't have to add something. And it's very pure. Therefore, Santi Satta, Apparajakha, Jatika, Asavananta, Dhammasa, Parihayanti, Bhavissanti, Dhammasatanyataro. Because of the lack of the knowledge of the doctrine in this world, people are lack of the knowledge. They will be lost unless they don't hear this doctrine. They will be blind. They will be covered by the ignorance. Therefore, they will understand when you preach this. What I have founded, that is what the Buddha's instruction. This is the vision and mission of a monastic teacher, monastic ascetic in this world who follows the Buddha's doctrine. In case of late Venerable Dr. Madawala Punnaji Thera, I presume exactly that he has understood this vision and mission clearly as a monastic teacher. That's what he traveled to USA from Sri Lanka, then he traveled to Canada, then he traveled to Malaysia. What he knows, he delivered. What he learned, he delivered. What he practiced, he introduced. Why does it happen so? Why did Venerable Dr. Madawala Punnaji Mahathera followed this vision and mission? Because he is a great monastic teacher, great monastic monk. So he understood what he has to do is to support the Buddha's vision and mission. He knew English. He could master English language well. He has an ability to choose the direct translation of English word for Pali terms. So his purpose was to support the people who are non-native speakers of Sinhala, his mother tongue. That is what he traveled to United States of America, then Canada, then back to Malaysia. This is what the monks have to do. They are instructed by the Buddha to travel here and there with the purpose of supporting people to preach his doctrine. His doctrine is pure and clear. Message of the doctrine is pure and clear at the beginning, in the middle, as well as at the end. Even one letter of his word brings the clear message. Because of that, we need to deliver this message to the people. Even his doctrine teaches us to the reality of a noble life, how to be noble, how to abstain from the evil things. People are covered by the ignorance. They have much desires, cravings, lust, sexual and sensual pleasures. Because of that, they are covered. They cannot see beyond that. The Buddha advised us to enlighten them, to see beyond that. That is the mission, that is the vision. At the end, when the people understand, at the end what happens is they will come to enjoy the supreme bliss of Nibbana. That's the vision. The freedom of suffering, the final success that we need to see from you, from ourselves. Then we need to activate our mission, that is going from different places to different places and preach his doctrine. Bhante Punnaji has understood this very well. Therefore, brothers and sisters in Dhamma, the Buddha has clearly indicated and demonstrated the way we have to play as a monastic teacher, our vision and mission. I think it's clear what is the mission, what is the vision. A vision is the final success that we need to see. Mission is the way we practice to achieve our final success. That is the practice of the Dhamma. Our duty as a monastic teacher to teach you how to practice the teachings of the Buddha to end up this samsaric suffering. Therefore, monks can have different roles to bring the mundane and supramundane happiness to you. To bring the mundane and supramundane happiness. On the other hand, mundane happiness we can say in Bhante Punnaji's word, impermanent happiness. Impermanent happiness, impermanence pleasure or pleasures of impermanence. Mundane or worldly happiness are subjected to change, but we can bring it to your life according to the teachings of the Buddha. Supramundane happiness, what Bhante Punnaji always talked as the permanent pleasures, that is Nibbana. So, to bring this spiritual happiness and worldly happiness into a life of a mankind, a monastic teacher has to play different types of roles. In one sense, he can be a devout religious leader. Today, Buddhism has been defined as a religion. Therefore, Buddhist monks becomes the religious leaders. They have become the religious leaders as it is defined as a religion. So our role, on the other hand, a devout religious leader. Then, what the Buddha said is the reality in this world. The real message about the world is included there. Therefore, what we do is to explain this real message, to clarify this real message, to interpret this real message. So a Buddhist leader, Buddhist monk, in bringing mundane and supra-mundane happiness, he can be a real messenger, of course. And also, a Buddhist monk is a true, innovative and effective teacher. He is a true teacher because always try to teach the truth in this world. He is innovative in teaching because he has the capacity, he has the ability to use the technological advances like we do just now to teach the innovative ways to convey the message of the Buddha, and also effective teacher because always what they teach from the teachings of the Buddha effective for the life of the people, and also a true and spiritual leader. True and spiritual leader. The Buddhist monk, they play their role as a spiritual leader who guide for spiritual happiness. That's true. And a true and honest social change. They try to resolve the problems in the world among the people in the society. Therefore, they can be known as a social revolutionist. In this way, brothers and sisters in Dhamma, to bring the mundane and supra-mundane happiness in accordance with the vision and mission of the Supreme Buddha, a Buddhist monk can play. All these roles together, a Buddhist monk can play to bring the mundane and supra-mundane happiness to you in accordance with the teachings of the Buddha. Really, these roles are coming to us because of the vision and mission indicated by the Buddha. So, one of the major matters mentioned in the discourse of the Singalovada Sutta in Digha Nikaya, it's very important. Relationship between the monk and lay people, commitments, reciprocal acts, commitments by the lay people. What the lay people have to follow for the monks, then what the monks do for the lay people. Based on these two sides, depending on the duties of each other, we have commitments, we have reciprocal acts. Then, in case of the commitments of the lay people, to build the relationship with the monk, they have to have the loving acts. Loving acts, whatever they do for them, should be done with loving kindness. For example, when the monks are coming, if someone raised from the seats, that can be a loving act. That is the basic concept that we believe in as a treatment, good treatment for the monks. Then loving is speech. People have to humbly and kindly speak to the monks without using harsh words, without using lies, without telling lies, without telling useless words. Then loving thoughts. They have to cultivate their mind with loving thoughts. Some people are jealous of the monks. Some people cultivate hatred towards monks and condemn but instead you have to develop the loving thoughts in the mind. Then hospitality. You have to take care of the monks, whether they are in good health or bad health. Then you have to trade. Then material supports in giving dana, in giving robes, in providing shelters. We have to think of their material needs as well. In this way, when the lay people treat the Buddhist monks, in return, what lay people receive is restraint from evil. The Buddhist monks will teach you to be free from evil actions. They will introduce you. These are bad, these are good, these are negative, these are positive. So they try to support you to restrain from evil doings. That means they will direct you to do the wholesome deeds. Then nature goodness. Always try to nurse you with goodness. Then loving kindness. They spread the loving thoughts towards you, wishing that all the time may you be well and happy. They are happy to see your happiness. Then most important thing is they will enlighten you. What they try to enlighten you, they will enlighten you about the reality in this life. They will teach you the life is impermanent, death is permanent, the life is subjected to change. So reality in this world, truth in this world, what the Buddha taught us, they will teach you to understand, they will enlighten you, then clarify. If you got questions, if you are unable to explain or understand further by heart, they will clarify. In addition, not only that, they will teach something goodness for you. They will never teach something evil. They will never harm you. They will never hate you. They will never teach you to hate. They will teach good things, how to be noble, how to be positive. They will guide. In this way, monastic teachers, when the late devotees take care of them by the way of loving acts, by the way of loving speech, by the way of loving thoughts, by the way of hospitality and providing material supports. In return, they will treat the lay followers by the way of restraining from evil, by the way of nature and goodness, loving kindness, enlightenment, clarifications and teaching good things. This is how lay people have to build the relationship with the lay people. Then when the lay people respect, treat them in these 5 ways, the monks also have to play their role correctly in treating, in return, the lay people to support them to be free from suffering, wishing their mundane and supramundane happiness. This is the role. So, in a sense, this can be a leadership. This can be a leadership. People are coming to seek the shelter of the Buddhist monk. They need the helps of the Buddhist monk to know what is evil, what is positive, what is wholesome, what is unwholesome, what is goodness, what is not goodness, what to do, what not to do, what is loving kindness. They need the love of the monks. Then clarifications, enlighten, to teach good and bad. All these things are the duties and responsibilities, because our vision, is to see that you enjoy the supreme happiness. People come to us expecting the spiritual happiness. That's why they commit. Then our roles in return to support you to attain your final happiness, supra mundane happiness. This is the way we have to build the relationship with monks, and for monks to build the relationship with lay people. Not only that, monks at all the time they are teachers. Buddha is the greatest teacher in this world. He is the teacher of the God and men, God and the humans. Satta Deva Manussanam, that is what we recite in the verses Itipiso Bhagava Arahan Samma Sambuddho. In a sense, while he is the greatest teacher, his disciples also become the teachers because their vision is to see the spiritual success, spiritual happiness of the humans. So they need to teach, they need to instruct, provide the instructions to attain the happiness. Then, with the purpose of obtaining the instructions from the monks, having considered them as the teachers, lay people commit, they behave respecting the monks. They raise from the seats and greet them humbly. Maybe you, when we meet, you raise your seats and Bante, Sadhu, Sadhu, good morning Bante, how are you? Good afternoon Bante, good evening Bante, may the Triple Gem bless you. Happy to see you. Big Sadhu to you. Vandami Bante. Something like that you say. You respect the monks, greet them. Whatever you practice, you stop. When you meet a monk, you attend them, you entertain them. Then eager to receptivity. Whatever monks tell, whatever religious teachers tell, you are ready to accept. Not only them, you may serve them in giving food, in giving drinks, in giving shelter for the teachers and master their teaching. What they teach, you practice. This is the way, brothers and sisters in Dhamma. You do, you commit. This is how you commit. That is what you still respect Bhante Punnaji. When he was living, when you meet him, having risen from the seats, you greeted him. Hi Bhante, how are you Bhante? Happy to see you Bhante. So he was happy. I have seen that. Then you attend him, talk him. You were ready to accept what he says. You treated him. Sometimes brothers like Bilitan takes him to lunch dana, breakfast dana, to outside wherever he likes. In the same manner, not only to Bhante Punnaji, all the monks are treated by you. Then what they tell as the advice, what they teach, what they conduct as the Dhamma talks, you come and learn, try to practice in the life. This is how, brothers and sisters, you all commit to bring happiness into your life under a monastic teacher. Then what you receive in return, thoroughly instruct the teachers, Monks as teachers, they thoroughly instruct, they clearly teach you, ensure comprehension, they try to support you to develop the skills of comprehending. You are provided well, all-roundedness, all the details, all the factors to learn. They need you to perform well. Then you will be introduced to the people who are very famous, provide referrals. Teachers will introduce you to the higher people, reputed people, experts in the field, saying that this is my disciple. He is clever in speaking. He is clever in writing. He is clever in practicing meditation. In this way, they provide you, they introduce you to the people. I can remember once when I met Bhante Punnaji, someone invited him to do a Dhamma talk or something for a meditation retreat at Buddhist Mahavihara. Then he was looking at the agenda, the programs. Then he said, I don't want to do this. Tell Brother Bilitang to do this. He will do this in the way that I do. Then he said, ask this to do. Ask Bhikkhuni Bodhicitta to do this one. She will do this one. I no need to observe when they do. In this way, just few examples. There are so many examples in his life. He introduced his disciples to many other people to run the programs. They trust when you follow their teaching, his teachings, ensure safety. You are protected by them. You are protected by the teacher when you master their teaching. In that way, when you commit, brothers and sisters, monks as well as teachers, they will treat in this way to protect you, guide you, support you, make you brilliant among the others. This is the role of a monastic teacher. As a teacher, having said like that, I want to discuss another matter with you in details. On the other hand, I said another role. Buddhist monks can be leaders, monastic leader, monastic monk, a mendicant, an ascetic, or Bhante is a leader indeed. You know the leadership of late Venerable Dr. K.C. Dhammananda Nayaka Mahathera. You know the leadership of late Venerable Dr. Madhavala Punnaji Mahathera. You know the leadership of the leaders. What is leadership? What kind of leaderships that Buddhist monk should have? Brothers and sisters in Dhamma, according to the teachings of the Buddha, in accordance the teachings of the Dhamma, teachings of the Buddha, leadership means the ability to maintain social relationships in a beneficial and appropriate way. Leadership means the ability to maintain social relationships in a beneficial and appropriate way. The above relationships of student-teacher relationship and also ascetic or monks and lay people relationship. depend on this ability to maintain those relationships. Remember that. Therefore, in Buddhism, we define leader as a person who has the ability to maintain social relationships. In what way? In beneficial way, an appropriate way. A leader must have the following qualities in accordance with the Chakkavatti Sihanada Sutta in Digha Nikaya. What are these abilities, qualities? Attanyu. Attanyu means brothers and sisters in Dhamma, able to discriminate good from bad. Ability to discriminate good from bad. Ability to understand good from bad. Ability to show the differences between good and bad. I think all the teachers must have this ability. All the individuals should have this ability. As a person, Bhante Punnaji had. As a monastic learner, he had. As a monastic teacher, he had. As a missionary monk, he had. He had the ability to differentiate good things from bad. That's why he taught you the positive things. He taught you to the way how to be free from suffering. Then Dhammanyu. Dhammanyu means the knowledge on righteousness, the doctrine of the Buddha, clear and pure knowledge. Venerable Bhante Punnaji had that indeed. He knows what is righteousness. He knew what is not righteousness. He knew what is the Dhamma. He knew what is not the Dhamma. That's why still we all respect him as a leader, as a teacher. So Mattanyu, thirdly we see, knows the limit of punishment, teaching, consultation, instructions, talking, smiling, everything. There is a limit for everything. Therefore, as a leader to maintain the social relationship in an appropriate way and beneficial way, we should have the limitations. For example, we are taking 2 hours to preach the Dhamma continually. Maybe if we take 5 hours, that means we don't know the limit of the time. If we blame someone to not to do something, at all the time if you are going to blame, that's not good. If we instruct at all the time, when you eat, when you have a shower, when you sleep, that's not the time. So there is a time and limit for everything. When Bhante Punnaji was living, he did not want to instruct us at all the time. At one time he was discussing us the Dhamma in depth. On the other hand, with a free and happy mind, he was ready to have a lunch or breakfast dana in a restaurant or a temple with us. When we are having lunch, when we are having the breakfast, he did not want to discuss the Dhamma because that's not the suitable time. He knew the limitation as a leader. Then Kalanya, the knowledge of the suitable time for court work, pleasure and tour, everything. A leader should know the suitable time for giving instructions. A leader should know the suitable time for observations. A leader should know the suitable time for eating, drinking. Drinking means not the alcohol. A leader should know the time for pleasure. The leader should know the time of visiting. So the limitation as well the time for everything is very important. As a monastic leader, brothers and sisters in Dhamma, to maintain our social relationships in a beneficial and appropriate way, there is a suitable time for everything. If you are a doctor, you have a suitable and time to treat the patients. You should have the suitable time for the surgery, pleasure and tour and family work. As a teacher also the same thing. As a leader also we need to have the knowledge of the time, suitable time to lead our relationship to continue in a beneficial and appropriate way. Lastly, we see the Parisanyu. Parisanyu means the knowledge on assembly, knowledge of the audience, knowledge on the audience. You should know the characters or the characteristics, natures of the individuals around you. If you are going to address a gathering, you should know who they are, what they do, how you should have to talk to them, what you have to tell to them. So we need to have a knowledge about the assembly, individuals, to understand what type of people they are. To understand what type of people they are. A leader, having thought of this, have to consider this everything and how to practice this everything, all those things, to be a leader. With experience, you know, in case of Venerable Dr. Bhante Punnaji, he knew the time, he knew the assembly, what to talk, how to talk, what type of people are his followers. With a broad understanding, with a broad knowledge, with these qualities, he appeared in this society as a Buddhist leader, as a Buddhist teacher, as a monastic monk. All these factors, dear noble friends, they illustrate many roles together with the role of a monastic teacher. We have for a monastic teacher, along with monastic teacher, the role of the monastic teacher, they have to play, they have to practice different types of roles as a monastic leader, as a teacher, as a monk, as a follower, in this sense. So, you will have the ability to understand that in this way, our Blessed One highlighted different types of teachings to maintain our social relationships, social links, to ensure their safety, to ensure the quality of the relationship, to balance the relationship, to guide the relationship, to define the relationship. All these roles, all these practices are linked to the vision of a Buddhist monk to support the mission to be completed. Now we come to Venerable Bhante Punnaji's life with these illustrations of the Buddha's teaching, what he did, what he practiced, how he did, how we understand him. Bhante Dr. Madawala Punnaji Mahathera, our great teacher, he was born on 26th November in 1929. His parents were very reputed in this country, in Sri Lanka. Generous family, humble family, noble family. So his lay name was Puspananda Madawala. He completed his education and entered the university. He graduated as a medical doctor. While he practices the profession as a doctor in the hospital, he realized the nature of the life, having seen the suffering of the patients. His intention was to support them spiritually to end up this sansaric suffering. So he decided to be a monk. In 1968, he was ordained by the Most Venerable Madhye Sri Panyasiya Mahanayaka Thera, the Supreme Mahanayaka Thera of Amarpura sect. He was the great teacher of this noble teacher. Then Venerable Madhye Panyasaya Supreme Mahanayaka Thera instructed him to support the vision and mission of the Buddha. Then he sent Venerable Bhante Punnaji with the ordination. He was given the name Madawala Punnaji. Then he was sent to United States of America to save the Buddhists there. Having built up different temples in United States of America, he did a great service. Meanwhile, he completed 2 PhD degrees there from American universities. 1 PhD in philosophy, 1 PhD in psychology. So he is a double doctorates. On the other hand, he is a medical doctor. On the one side, he is a doctor because he got 2 PhD degrees. Indeed, he is a doctor. Then he traveled different places to convey the message of the Buddha in English in United States. Then he moved to Canada. There also he built a temple and did a lots of religious and social activities, humanitarian aids to the people. Then he came to Malaysia when the late chief Dr. K. Sri Dhammananda was living. They became two friends, mutual friends. Venerable Dr. Bhante Punnaji was invited by late chief to deliver the sermons in English at Buddhist Mahavihara. Then what happened is, unfortunately, Venerable Dr. K.C. Dhammananda Nayaka Thero passed away. On his funeral day, Venerable Dr. Punnaji came to Malaysia to give the main speech at funeral. Then the Buddhist Mahavihara devotees invited him to, on the recommendation by late chief, to stay there as the teacher of Buddhist Mahavihara. In 2007 too, the final day of his life, he was the teacher of Buddhist Mahavihara. As our brother Bilithan told, he came back to Sri Lanka for vacation or something, but finally having given the last Dhamma talk, he passed away peacefully on 27th July 2018. So this is the sad news we got on that day, that our great master, Venerable Dr. Madawala Punnaji Mahathir left us forever. Even though he is physically no more in this world, his name is still lives in this society. The Buddha said, Rupan jirati machana namagottan najirati. The physical appearance, physical body can die. It is subjected to disappear. But the good things you do, they will appear in this world in your name. Now, that is what happened to Venerable Dr. Bhante Punnaji Mahathir. Physically, forever we cannot see him again. We will never see him, but we will imagine who Bhante Punnaji is. With the help of his speech, Dhamma talks, teachings, books, everything. By the service done by him to upgrade and propagate the teachings of the Buddha around the world. The Dhamma Dana and Dhamma Duta service of Bhante Punnaji will introduce us who Venerable Dr. Bhante Punnaji Thera. Dhamma Duta service, his missionary service, teaching the Dhamma around the world. And Dhamma Dana, he taught the Buddha's teachings as a dana with the pure purpose of supporting the people to attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. He expects nothing in return. He didn't do Dhamma talks as a profession to earn money, to earn an income. But he did with the purpose of enlightening the people, supporting people to understand the reality in this world and the way to be free from suffering. Having considered all these factors, brothers and sisters in Dhamma, as a Buddhist monk, as a Buddhist leader, as a Buddhist teacher, who was trained under him by our incumbent chief reverend. After I came to Malaysia, he introduced me to Bhante Punnaji and asked, now you must practice this Venerable Bhante Vinita to deliver Dhamma talks, how to convey the message of the Buddha in English culturally to suit the Malaysians. Then he advised me to follow him. When he was practicing meditation retreats, he asked me to come there and sit and observe. When he did a Dhamma talk, he come to me and asked and took me there. In that way, he guided me as well to be fluent in talking the Dhamma in English. Having considered that, I observed his behaviors and his service carefully. Then I see his Dhammadana and Dhammaduta service done by him are threefold. They are in the form of speaking, in the form of writing, and also in the form of personal guidance and mentorship. This is what I recognize Bhante Punnaji Mahathera. These are the facts that illustrate me, demonstrate that he is a great Dhamma teacher. Physically we have seen, but no more in this world. Physically he is no more. He will be understood by the future generations in a way of these three forms in the future. Maybe your children, your grandchildren, when they hear a talk of Bhante Punnaji, when they read a book of Bhante Punnaji, they will understand him in a way of these, in either way. So, in case of form of speech, Bhante Punnaji's way of speaking in Dhamma includes the following matters. You see the slide. What are the matters that I noticed? He had a great and broad knowledge on Tripitaka, about the discourses of the Buddha, about the Vinaya rules of the Buddha, and metaphysical teachings of the Buddha. And he had a knowledge in Pali and also his special ability to translate the Pali words into proper English word. He was clever in translating Pali word into the appropriate, suitable, meaningful English terms. On the other hand, he was an expert in science and biology as a medical doctor. His knowledge is marvelous, magnificent in science and biology. So his English knowledge, the knowledge on the English structure, was very important because he learned the language. He lived in a country where native speakers of English live. Then he got the exposure of the native speakers. He knows how to use the language culturally. He knows how to use the language as well, how to choose the appropriate word, how to compare everything. how to pronounce the language well, then he was indeed aware of the cultural awareness when he talked to people, and he had a mutual understanding. Either people are Christians or Muslims or Hindus or Buddhist or non-Buddhist or non-religious people or whoever come to him, he had a mutual understanding with each other. Various talks on different topics can be found in social media, we know, in the form of speaking. His speaking, his words, his ideas, all those elaborate the facts that I said with regard to his character as a Buddhist leader, as an erudite monk, erudite teacher. Indeed, brothers and sisters in Dhamma in this world, there are no such teachers who are experts in the teachings of the Buddha, who are experts in translating, who are experts in science and biology all together. Someone can be an expert on the teachings of the Buddha, but can be lack of translating, skills of translation, can be lack of English knowledge. Even though they know English, they are not aware of how to master the language. They cannot master and preach the Dhamma in English. Some monks do not have the cultural awareness, mutual understandings. All together, we notice Bhante Punnaji's character was decorated by all those things together. Therefore, in Bhante Punnaji's character, we notice all these can be seen together. That's why various people, different websites, have uploaded his talks to their website, can be found in websites and social media. For an example, when you Google, type in that Bhante Punnaji, you can listen to his talks. That's in the form of speaking. The people in the future will understand who Bhante Punnaji is by listening to his talks. That's why I said, even though he is physically no more in this world, people will understand him. He will appear in this world in his name. Whatever he has done will continue him in this society. Next, in the form of writing, I don't need to repeat each name of each book one by one. You know, selective thinking that I have read, Ariyamagga Bhavana level 1, 2, 3. You can download. There are many books written by him. The most important one is Philosophy of Vesak. It also elaborates why we celebrate the Vesak. What's the importance of the Vesak? In that way. So there are different types of books written by him on different topics. Then why religion? Then psychology of metta, loving kindness, 4 evolutionary stages of religion, how to become a Buddhist or becoming a Buddhist. All those things you can download, you can read, future generations, maybe your grandchildren or great-grandchildren, will understand Bhante Punnaji by reading these texts written by him. So by the way of writing, he appears in this society still. Physically we cannot see, but we see him through his writing. Then, other way, in the form of personal guidance and mentorship. You all know how he guided you to build up your characters. You all know how he supported us to solve our problems, to be happy. Personally, for me also, he has given lots of instructions. You also experience that. Therefore, as we live, as far as we live, until our death, we will understand Bhante Punnaji. We will tell to our future generation. They will learn from our mouth what he told us to build up our characters, his leadership, his advice, his guidance. Then they will pass it to their generation. In that way also our personal experiences with Bhante Punnaji will go to generation. In that way he will live in this society for a long time. In that way, having mentioned his marvelous and magnificent, great Dhammaduta and Dhammadana service to the society, I would like to discuss few quotes or citations of Bhante Punnaji Mahathera. What he told, different quotes we can find. All living beings are struggling and competing to exist in order to keep their temporary lives and to enjoy impermanent pleasure. This is a famous quote by Bhante Punnaji's from Bhante Punnaji's teachings. That is what I said. To enjoy permanent pleasure, impermanent pleasure. Impermanent pleasure means, brothers and sisters, mundane happiness, worldly happiness. We all are going after that. We think our impermanent pleasure is permanent, but Bhante Punnaji has understood they are indeed impermanent pleasures. That is what he said these. Then our desires are unrealistic. We have different types of desires, expectations. Maybe we cannot succeed them. Not realistic. We are seeking permanence or permanent conditions in an impermanent world. That's why we are attached to different things. You see this statement by him. How this statement of Bhante Punnaji shows his character really. This is a mirror of his character. This is a mirror of his knowledge, his wisdom, and knowledge of the Dhamma. Knowledge on the Dhamma, understanding in Dhamma, what he has taught in accordance with the Dhamma by the practice throughout his entire monastic life as a teacher, as a practitioner, as a meditative teacher, as a monk, as a leader, as a missionary Buddhist leader. So our main problem is our inability to accept reality as it is. This is true. Then it's clear, it guides us how Bhante Punnaji has understood his audience, his disciples, his followers, the individuals around him. So his leadership character, he knew his assembly. So he understood his assembly is covered by the ignorance because of they have the inability to accept reality as it is. You see how he has understood, how he has practiced the quality of the norm in the assembly. Norm in the assembly. Parisanyu. Norm in the assembly. That is what he always taught about Arya-magga. This is the way to be free from suffering. That is why he said, we try to enjoy impermanent pleasure. Our lives are temporary, but we try to enjoy impermanent pleasure. We try to find something permanent in the impermanent world because we are not ready to accept reality as it is. Our inability has been understood by him. I think that's very enough to understand who Bhante Punnaji, what is his Dhamma knowledge, how he has understood, how he has guided us. Then he says, do not pursue happiness, do not go after happiness, just get rid of your unhappiness. Very true statement. By purifying the mind, we become good, happy and wise. It's a clear experience in his life. He always thought, he always taught, he always conveyed us, consulted us to purify mind. Because when the mind is pure, we are automatically good, we are happy and we are intelligent. Some other statements, the famous one, the most famous one, the purpose of human thinking is not to discover the truth, but to solve the problems. We are in a struggles to solve our problems. So our purpose is not to think about how to find the truth, but first to solve our problems. When we solve our problems, we will discover the truth automatically. And also, lastly, the Buddhist cultivates a broad mind that is interested in welfare of all human beings. Yes, it is. That is what the Buddha asks us to cultivate: loving kindness, compassion, altruistic joy and equanimity. To wish the welfare of all the beings, to practice to be happy, to see the other's happiness, to think your happiness is our happiness, my happiness. So Bhante Punnaji knew what is the purpose of being a Buddhist, what to practice, how a Buddhist must cultivate his mind. A Buddhist is the person who are interested in others' welfare, others' happiness. That is why he said not to go after impermanent pleasures, but to try to have the permanent pleasure, that is Nibbana. having said like that, brothers and sisters, and in Dhamma, I so humbly I am happy to define Bhante Punnaji as a true teacher, as a true Buddhist monk who served the mankind in the sense of enlightening them to understand the reality in this world while he was practicing it. So I think you experienced lively this. I think I am correct in defining Bhante Punnaji. Who Bhante Punnaji is. That's all. Thank you so much for listening to my Dhamma talk. Brothers and sisters in Dhamma, if any questions, I'm so happy to discuss further with you. Now, this is time for your questions and answers.
Thank you, Bhante. Let us all put our palms together and just thank Bhante for sharing this wonderful Dharma talk. So please post your questions now, and we will look at what questions, and Bhante will try to answer them. While we are waiting for questions, meanwhile, I would like to then share with you some important links, right? So those of you who are interested to look through all the Dharma talks by Bhante Punnaji, please click, feel free to go to that link, and you will be able to find all the videos that we have uploaded of Bhante Punnaji's talk. And also, we were very, very fortunate that at the end of 2017, December, during the retreat, we conducted a very extensive interview of Bhante. And in this interview, Bhante shared his personal life story. And that is the link there. You can see the video on Bhante's life story. And very importantly, you can actually download soft copies of all Bhante's books from this link. So if you go to this link, you will get a list of all of Bhante's books, right? And finally, Bhante Vinita's Dharma talk today, all the slides you are interested, you can always download from that link, that Bhante Vinita's slides of today's sharing. So let's see if there are questions, right? So at the moment, Bhante, there are no one has posted any questions. So I guess if nobody has posted any questions, then
Okay, brother. Let
me.
me.
Yes, Bhante. Bhante, we're not hearing you. Bhante, maybe your internet connection, Bhante? Okay, never mind. I'll just quickly show these links again for those of you who are interested. I'll just repeat that so you can actually download a copy of Bhante Vinita's sharing today. And if you are interested in all the videos of Bhante Punnaji, you can go to that link and you can see all the YouTube's post, the YouTube channel of Bhante Punnaji. And oh, I think Bhante Vinita has gone offline. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Anyway, I'll just quickly finish off. So here, with this link, you can see a full interview of Bhante Punnaji, about 45 minutes, where Bhante Punnaji talked about his life story. We were very fortunate to have captured that on video in December 2017, a few months before he left for Sri Lanka, where he passed on. And of course, the full list of books, go to this link, tiny.cc/Bhante Punnaji books, and you can get a full list of all the books, and you can download soft copies of Bhante Punnaji's books that were published in Malaysia. Right. So basically, we have come to the end of our sharing, and yeah, Bante Vinita is back on. So I will now pass you back to Bante Vinita.
Yeah,
So,
brother,
well,
let me tell one factor about Bante Punnaji's generation. So, as
okay,
I said, there are famous uh, schools in Sri Lanka. In our district, I am coming from his district. There is a college top school called Maliyadeva College in Kurunegala. So you can Google. The land to build this Maliyadeva College has been offered by Bante Punnaji's family. Their ancestors' house. Then they moved to Madavala village again. So in that way they are very generous. Bante also left all the properties and became a monk. He left indeed a good profession, but became a monk because of understanding about the reality in this world, life. So when you Google Madavala family, the descriptions about his family coming. So I will share the link with you personally. Got
we have
one
a
question.
question. Yeah,
Yeah.
relating to
Why
Bante's
we
famous
are here to
quotation.
solve the problems, not seeking the truth. Thank you so much for new questions. Brother, could you repeat the stanza Buddha said? What was the old Buddha's instruction? Sabbapa passa akaranam kusalasa upasampada. Sajitta pariyudapanam etam buddhana sasana. Sabbapa passa akaranam. To solve the problem, please avoid all the evil deeds. He asks us to not to practice any evil. Because when you practice evils, problems arise. Then, kusalasa upasampada, clean your mind. That is the problem. If our mind is not clear and clean, that is the problem. Then you clean your mind and do all the meritorious deeds. Sachitta dapanam. Then you clean your mind in meditating. This was the instruction given by all the Buddhas. Then, is there any truth there? Did the Buddha ask us to find the truth and then solve the problems? No. He said, first, to solve your problems. Then you will understand problems as the truth at the end, at the realization. So better to solve problems first because they are the barriers. Even though we teach the Four Noble Truths and all the reality, but if you are not if you don't get rid of your problems, how you can enjoy the permanent happiness? You are in a difficulty in a temporary life forever. So better to solve the problems. Then at the end, when you get the answers and when you solve the problems, you will see that is the reality.
Yeah, I would like to add one more thing, Bante, if you allow me. Uh, a lot of people have mistranslated the word Dharma. The word Dharma is often translated as truth, but actually, everybody knows the true meaning of the word Dharma in Pali means experience. When we experience reality, that really is Dharma. So, what the Buddha did when the Buddha was teaching the Dharma, he wasn't teaching this thing called the truth. Normally, when we talk about other religions, they say, oh, this is the truth from God. The Buddha did not bring this thing called truth from somewhere else and say, oh, this is the truth you must believe in. No. The Buddha went through many lives as a bodhisattva, and he experienced suffering, he experienced lust, greed, hatred, anger, delusion, and so on. So when he became enlightened, he realized that he wanted to teach from his experience. So the Dharma is actually the collection of all of Buddha's experience. It's not the truth. That's why the word Dharma is often translated as truth, but that is actually not a correct translation. The Buddha was teaching from his experience.
Yes,
Right?
we can define in that sense.
Yeah.
Great.
And the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Way, they are not truth for you to believe in. They are actually teachings from Buddha's experience for you to
Truth
learn
means,
and
yeah,
practice to solve the
truth means,
problem.
yeah, how he experienced.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
to
where he
solve the
experienced.
problem, solving the problem of suffering. That's what it is.
Yep.
So the Four Noble Truths is and the Eightfold Way, they are here to solve the problem of suffering. It is not something for you to say, this is the truth, I believe in this. What's the point of believing in something if you are still suffering? What for? So solve the problem of suffering. Okay, I think that is, we have completed the answer, I hope, right? So there are no more. So
If there are
all
no
right.
more, we may
So
try to transfer the merits.
yeah.
Okay. By the power of these merits, you earn the merits by listening to the Dhamma talk, reminding the Bhante Punnaji's teachings about the Buddha's teachings, and you collected much merits. Now you are indeed in rich conditions of merits. You have something to share. Let me transfer together with you, having taken our two palms together, to Venerable Dr. Madavala Punnaji Mahathera, who passed away 3 years ago on a day like today. May he, Venerable Dr. Bhante Punnaji, receive these merits. May he be free from samsaric existence. May he be reborn wherever happiness, success, and pleasure available. And may he be able to preach the doctrine of the Buddha wherever he was born again, reborn again. May he be able to attain supreme bliss of Nibbana, having ended up this sansaric life. May Bhante Punnaji receive these merits. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May Bhante Punnaji's parents receive these merits. May they be free from suffering. May they be able to attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. May our late Chief Dr. K.C. Dhammananda Nayaka Mahathera receive these merits. May he be able to attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Brothers and sisters, you, on behalf of you, remind you all the departed ones in your family by your name. May they receive these merits. May they be able to attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Brothers and sisters in Dhamma, remind the present situations in the world. COVID-19 has spread a lot throughout the world. Every country has been affected negatively. All the psychological conditions negatively coming down of the people. So, having understood this reality, may the peoples or the humans and all the beings in this world be free from this COVID-19 pandemic. May all the humans and other beings be well protected by the triple gem. May all the difficulties, problems disappear. from the world due to COVID-19. May COVID-19 pandemic disappear from the world. May all the people will understand. May all the people understand the reality in this world, and may all the people be well and happy. May all the beings be free from suffering. May all the beings be able to attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. May the divine beings also receive these merits and attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Extending our gratitude towards everyone, we may recite the verses in order to transfer the merits to late Bhante Dr. Punnaji and all the deities. Idamme jnātinam hotu sukita huntu jnāteyo. Idamme jnātinam hotu sukita huntu jnāteyo. Idamme jnātinam hotu sukita huntu jnāteyo. May all the divine beings receive these merits and attain the Nibbana. Akasatta ca bhummatta devanaga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chiran rakkantu loka sasanam chiran rakkantu desanam chiran rakkantu mang paranti. Brother Bilitan, all the brothers and sisters in Dhamma, may you also be free from suffering. May you all be able to attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. And also, I really appreciate Brother Bilitan and you all for organizing this important talk to commemorate Bhante Punnaji and also your gratefulness towards this great teacher. I really appreciate, and also for the previous few weeks, I know you supported me to deliver the humanitarian aid to the poor people in Bhante Punnaji's country. And all this you did to transfer the merits, your beloved teacher. Thank you so much. By the power of that merits also, may Bhante Punnaji be able to attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Again and again, he is very lucky to have students like you. May you all be well and happy, free from suffering, and attain the Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu. Let us all put our palms together and thank Bhante Vinita for this wonderful sharing where we all benefited from it. So let's put our palms together and say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay,
Okay.
I will bless you in reciting a blessing stanza. Abhivadana Selissa Nichang Vundapachayino Chatnaro Dhamma Vaddante Ayuvanno Sukham Balang Ayurarogya Sampatti Sagga Sampatti Mevacha Ato Nibbana Sampatti Iminate Samijjatu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. I wish everybody stay safe and have a good evening. All right. Thank you.